Hey guys, welcome in. Another edition of Right on Rangers Live. We're actually just finishing up the Dallas Mavs game right now. What a night in DFW sports. So we had the Rangers winning a big one tonight, and we just have the Mavs wrap up with a pretty huge win over the Golden State Warriors, creating a little bit of separation in the Western Conference seeding. So big night in DFW sports. Rangers win, Mavs win. It's a good night to be a DFW sports fan. We're going to get right into it here in just a little bit, but the Rangers win it tonight 10-2 over the arch rival Houston Astros. And it wasn't particularly close. The Rangers added in 5 runs in the bottom of the second inning and really never looked back from that moment. So you've got also 3 runs in the bottom of the sixth and 16 total hits on the day. Every Rangers player recorded a hit in this one. It was beautiful to see. Every starter, that is, I should say. There were a few guys on the bench that got an at bat late, but every starter for the Rangers recorded a hit today. Beautiful thing to see. Combine that with a Mavs victory, a Mavs home victory. I'm sure AAC was rocking tonight, and it's hard to beat a night like this in DFW sports. So let's get right into it. First of all, let's start at the very top of the lineup tonight. Marcus Semien. Man, this was a game that you had just been dying to see from him all season. And granted, it's a young season, but Marcus Semien, the table setter, goes 3 for 3 tonight with 2 walks on top of it. I mean, it raises that average into the mid 300s. And what can you say about him? First home run of the season. Was an incredible game for him. Love to see him get going. Scored 3 runs, 3 of the 10 runs. Marcus Semien, great game from him. And from there, pretty much you go down. Seager had the big hit to make the game 1-0. He went 1 for 4 tonight. And really, that got everything rolling from there. But let's talk about Adolis Garcia. That man just owns this Houston Astros team as currently constructed. I mean, he had 2 hits tonight, 4 RBI. Every time he's up, you feel like when he's playing Houston, something big is about to happen. I mean, obviously, he got out a couple of times tonight, but the Rangers for a long time, I would say really through all of the 2010s, they really lacked a guy that could consistently rise above in these big series. And I know this is at the very beginning of the season. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, right? 155 games left to be played. But when you start off with a series like this, 6 games in, your 7th game is against a team that is going to be rivaling you for the division pretty much, I think, all season long. When you can win games like this at the beginning and create some separation, I do believe it sends a statement. The Astros had given the Rangers a lot of problems playing in Arlington. In fact, I think it was last year in early July it had been since the Rangers had beaten the Astros at home. So these two teams were kind of trading road victories, right? Last postseason, of course, infamously, no home team won a game in the ALCS. So for the Rangers to take care of business tonight in emphatic fashion was great to see. And again, sends a statement. I think that with a 4-game series like this, 3 games obviously left in the series, you have a chance to create some real separation between you and the Astros early. Now, we know that anything's possible. We know teams can get hot and cold. But for the Rangers to potentially open up a 6.5 game lead, whatever it would be if they ended up winning a few more of these games, that would be huge. Now, I'm hoping for 3 out of 4. Obviously, a sweep would be incredible, but I think the Rangers can take 3. This offense is playing well right now. I think they ended the Tampa Bay Rays series on a great positive note. You carry it into this game. The pitching does get a little bit harder, who the Astros have throwing later on in the series. But if the offense is clicking like this, it's going to be hard for the Rangers to lose ball games. It just is. Seager, by the way, a 9-pitch at bat in the first inning. There were just tons of those tonight. I felt like, I think the starter, Hunter Brown for the Astros, I think he had about 80 pitches through 3 innings. So everybody was making this guy work. Everybody was seeing the ball very well out of his hand. Simeon had a ridiculous stat line against Brown. I mean, I don't think he retired him. He didn't retire him at all tonight. Simeon reached base all 5 times he came up, but he was something like 7 for 11 or 12 off of Brown, 7 hits and 12 at bats. I mean, that's an incredible stat line. I mean, he just has that guy's number clearly, but everybody was seeing the ball well out of Brown's hand tonight. I actually kind of felt like the Astros left him a little bit out to dry. I mean, he was struggling in that 3rd inning, and that manager just went ahead and kept him out there. I mean, hey, it's a long series. They're going to need arms, but Brown just did not have his stuff tonight. Let's do a little segue here before we return back to box score review, because this just came into my mind, and I feel like we got to talk about it. I talk about it every single season, and I know for a lot of Major League Baseball fans, it's getting old, but the blackouts. I mean, tonight, the Rangers-Astros game was on Apple TV. No local broadcast, no cable broadcast in the DFW area. Have to have Apple TV in order to watch this game. That's ridiculous. I cannot believe that for the people that are paying MLB TV yearly, like myself, in fact, the past couple of seasons, I've actually gotten a nice deal through T-Mobile. T-Mobile gives away MLB TV free every year. But I paid the MLB TV yearly fee many years since they started doing it back in the early 2000s. In my opinion, if you're spending $180, $200, whatever it is now on MLB TV, you should have access to every game. I understand the cable restrictions, the rights, all that stuff, but you should be privy to every game that you have on your subscription. The Rangers tonight not able to be watched because it's on Apple TV. I surely don't want to buy an Apple TV subscription for $10. I don't really watch that much TV as it is, but unless it's sports. So I'm not trying to add another subscription to my list. Can't keep track of them already. So the fact that this game, in such a huge game too, on Friday night is on Apple TV. I know that the Rangers have some issues with Bally, but it's just inexcusable. The blackouts really restrict people from watching the games, literally, and it makes people feel turned off. Personally, it's frustrating to me living in Vegas. About 5 or 6 different Major League Baseball teams claim Vegas as a territory. You got both LA teams claim Vegas, San Diego, Diamondbacks, Giants, and the A's. Those 6 teams claim Las Vegas as a territory. So anytime the Rangers play one of those 6 teams, which is a lot, right? We play the AL West, we play the NL West. A lot of those teams I just named, that's where they play. So there's about a quarter of games that I'm not able to watch on MLB TV because of the blackouts. So I have to find alternative means to get access to those games. And I know that there's other MLB fans that have to do the same, but it's ridiculous. You're paying $180, whatever MLB TV is yearly. You should be able to watch every game. That's the first thing that they need to fix when they usher out some of these cable companies, which I know that they're kind of doing right now. I know MLB was trying to reach some settlements with some of these sports companies that are going bankrupt, having financial issues, whatever the case may be. I really hope when some of those contracts run out, MLB can figure this out and stop blacking out games, especially blacking out games in the manner they are with places like Las Vegas, where I live, where you're not able to watch 6 different teams on any given day because technically they're a part of the home territory. Vegas is a part of the home territory for that team. So hope that there's not too many more of those Apple TV games. Obviously, I found a way to watch the game nevertheless, but it's annoying, right? Especially when you got the MLB TV app and it's as easy as that. Would really like to see MLB figure that out. Let's keep doing box score review. Let's get back to it. Rant over. I'm off my soapbox. Back to the box score. So Wyatt Langford didn't have his best night, but he did showcase his amazing speed. We talked about on the live a couple of days ago, the Rangers have 4 players in the top 14 of fastest players in Major League Baseball. So Evan Carter, 3rd fastest player in Major League Baseball, according to StatCast. Then you've got Wyatt Langford. I think he's about in the 7th spot. Then you've got Ezekiel Duran, 13. I think Simeon rounds it out with 14. But Wyatt Langford showcased his speed tonight, beating out a very hard hit ball. Altuve made a great play on it, but Wyatt Langford's speed was too much to overcome, and he ended up driving in a run on that ground ball hit. So Wyatt Langford hitting in the 3 spot tonight. So they're showing a lot of confidence in the rookie early. He's struggling a little bit, I would say. He's seeing the ball well, I think. He's got good vision up at the plate. But at the same time, I think he may be pressing a little bit. Some of the pitches he swung at tonight, probably a little bit not where he wants. And I think that he's going to only get better as time goes on. But Wyatt Langford, a little bit of a down night tonight. That being said, anytime you drive in a run, score a run, help out your team in those ways, hard to complain. We talked about Garcia. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get Garcia's home run up here just because selfishly I'd like to watch it again. So give me one moment. Let me pull that up for you guys. This was, by the way, I had a couple of buddies text me about this. The location of the pitch that he homers on. I don't think there's really very many Major League Baseball players that would be able to homer on a pitch like Garcia hits in the play. I'll show you in just a moment here. High fastball. I mean, I do not know if there's many players that are taking this pitch deep, but let's check this out real quick. So this is Garcia in what was the bottom of the 2nd inning. Wyatt Langford had just driven in a run to make it 2-0. And you've got Garcia coming up to the plate with a couple of runners on. And we'll show you the outcome here. Let me go full screen so y'all can see it.
Garcia, right center. Myers, back, wall, gone!
We'll get a replay here.
He's done it again. 5 straight. He's homered against the Astros, going back to the last 4 of the ALCS.
All right, let me take it back. We'll take it back one more so we can get that again.
Wherever.
If we don't get interrupted by an ad, of course, that's kind of how it always goes. I'll get you guys that one in just a second here. But let's go back to box score while I'm getting that back up. My apologies. You know how it goes with technology sometimes. But nevertheless, a pitch probably, I would say, a clear foot above the strike zone. I mean, it was definitely not a pitch that I thought he was going to be able to handle when I'm watching it fly to home plate. But I'll tell you what, he is an incredible player, and he takes it to another level against the Houston Astros. So here's that play. Now that I got it up, here you go.
Garcia, right center. Myers.
I mean, the location of where that ball is, it's just incredible to me. I just can't watch that enough, how high that pitch is, and he's still just able to take it deep. So Garcia, an incredible player, but becomes even more incredible when you've got him playing the Houston Astros, man. So hopefully he'll continue to have a huge series. But let's go back to box score. Let's keep going down. So we also had another big game from Josh Smith. Josh Smith is getting an opportunity with Josh Young being injured. And so far, he's making the most of it. 2 for 4 tonight. Josh Smith had, I believe, an opposite field line drive single in the 2nd inning it was. 107 miles an hour off the bat. Solid line drive. Had, I believe, another hit as well later on. Double. And Josh Smith is hitting 364 on the year with over 1,000 OPS. Look, I don't think you're going to get a performance like this from Josh Smith every single time out. I mean, I hope so. I'm not cheering against it. You guys, I know, have heard me say that about a lot of these players. It's easy to get critical And trust me, there are some guys on our team that frustrate me, no doubt. But I have to remind myself we're 7 games in. A lot can change from game to game. It's a long season. But Josh Smith is off to a great start. I'm really happy for him. The commentators have been talking about the kind of spring that he had, and he's really carrying that over into the season, making the most of this opportunity while Josh Young is out with an injury. And obviously, he's going to get, 10 weeks? I think that was the timetable, the new timetable that they gave for Josh Young, which would put him coming back around All-Star break, either before or after. So Josh Smith is going to get a couple of months here, probably really solid playing time, and especially if he keeps swinging the bat like this. So Josh Smith at the bottom of the order doing what he's doing, just setting the table for Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. That is a phenomenal place for this Rangers team to be when you're getting production like that at the bottom of the order. Let's keep going. So Evan Carter, was great to see him get a couple of hits tonight. Of course, a double, I believe, was one of his first hits of the season. Evan Carter, I think, set a record for doubles in the postseason last year, and he just showed off that speed around first base. By the time they pan to him, he hits the ball down kind of into the right field area. Astros right fielder Tucker fields it. And by the time they flip the camera from Tucker to Carter, he's basically on second base already. I just talked about a few minutes ago how Carter is, according to StatCast, the third fastest player in the major leagues. So he showed off that speed on that double. I was amazed that by the time the camera panned off of Tucker, who just fielded the ball onto him, basically already at second base. That dude can fly. So Carter with 2 hits tonight, batting 105 on the year. So, clearly that doesn't look good. But Carter, I believe, is leading the AL in walks. And his on-base percentage this season is .370, still very respectable. So Evan Carter's going to come around. Was never really worried about him. You know that he's got an outstanding eye, and the hits weren't coming. But at the same time, you know that when a guy is seeing the ball well, the hits are going to come eventually. And Evan Carter had a great night tonight, 2 for 4 with the walk, so he was on base 3 different times. Jared Walsh, 1 for 5. He had a run as well. 346 average still. Felt like he kind of missed out on a big opportunity early in the game. I think he had bases loaded in the first or second inning. Couldn't quite come through. That would have been a big, huge spot for him just to continue to solidify some playing time. You know that that's on his mind. The Rangers picked him up close to spring training. Nate Lowe going down with the oblique injury. But you know that Jared Walsh is pressing for that starting position. Nate Lowe is going to come back. I'm sure Nate Lowe is going to get an opportunity to get his spot back. But maybe not if Jared Walsh continues to hit .350. But big moment for him in that first or second inning. Wish he could have came through. He did leave some runners on base tonight, but still comes through with a single and scores a run. Jonah Heim, 2 for 5. He had a double tonight, and he swung the bat well. I think he made solid contact pretty much all night long. Talked about Josh Smith. Leote, 1 for 5. He had a hit as well. I think Leote is going to be one of those fringe guys in a minute here if he can't consistently get on base and maintain what everybody else in the lineup is doing. Now, Wyatt Langford, I think, is going to have a little bit of a longer leash than Leote. Just being real, Leote's been up on the big league club for a few years now. I was talking with my my fellow Rangers fans, my buddies, and we were talking about Leote. And this guy was somebody that was at the top of the Rangers prospect list, probably 2 or 3 years ago. And for a guy to be at the top of the prospect list, I think you probably are envisioning something a little bit more than what Leote is producing right now. I think they're going to give Leote the month of April, see where it's at the end of this month. And I could see him potentially losing out on some playing time, especially as the Rangers get guys back healthy. We got to see what everybody else in the lineup does. But I think Langford and Carter have showed that they can hang in the big leagues. I don't think that anybody is questioning their ability, even though their averages at this point are not robust. I don't think anybody questions whether or not they can hang with some of these big league pitchers. Now, Leote, I think that there are a lot of questions right now. Hopefully, he'll continue to get some hits. He had two, I think, in the last game and walked as well. Was on three different times, I think, in the last game. On one time tonight, but I think he's really got to prove it this next month. Obviously, I'm not in the dugout. I don't know what the conversations are behind closed doors, but I can't imagine with all of the outfield talent the Rangers have that they're going to continue to give solid, consistent at bats to Leote when they've got other guys that are producing. So we'll continue on and we'll talk about probably the player of the game right now, which for me is Cody Bradford. Cody Bradford went 7 2/3 for the Rangers tonight, 4 strikeouts, only gave up 2 hits. And yes, he did end up allowing a run only because Rodriguez comes in, promptly gives up a 2-run bomb immediately after they take Bradford out. But before I go off on a tangent on the bullpen, let's stay with Bradford a little bit more. So my one thing with Bradford is he relies a lot on contact, which can work if you can locate and if you're precise with your pitches and you do a good job mixing up speeds. What Bradford has in his repertoire can work. You can be successful, right? Look at, and I know this is a big comparison, and by no means am I saying that Bradford is on the level of this player I'm about to name, but you think about guys like Greg Maddux who had pinpoint control. Greg Maddux didn't throw the ball hard, low 90s, right? Maybe mid 90s at a certain point in his career. But Greg Maddux wasn't an upper 90s guy. He had pinpoint control. He could mix his pitches up well, and he could locate off-speed pitches well too. Bradford, I think, is that kind of player. Obviously, he is a lefty, and he had 4 strikeouts tonight. He can get the strikeout, but Bradford's largely a pitch-to-contact type of pitcher. He tops out at about 90-91, and if you have a fastball that's sitting 90-91 in today's MLB, you better be able to locate. And that's what Bradford did tonight. I really felt like he located his pitch as well. The curveball was working. Changeup was working. Slider, I think he got Abreu out on a slider called strike 3. 2 called strikeouts for Bradford and 2 swinging strikeouts. He got Diaz has been hitting the ball really well, the Houston Astros catcher. I think his average was up over 400. So got him to strike out. Got Alvarez on a fastball, swinging. That was probably the most impressive moment of the night for me, watching Bradford strike out Yordan Alvarez on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. But you can do that when you've got good off speed and you're locating your pitches. Right? You don't have to throw 102 to strike guys out. That 91-mile-an-hour fastball looks like 100 when you're mixing it in with 75-mile-an-hour curveballs, 82-mile-an-hour sliders. So Bradford had pretty much everything working tonight. Now, if he can continue to have starts like this, who knows? Maybe he sticks in the rotation. Scherzer's going to be coming back pretty soon here, I think within the next couple of months. DeGrom soon after. Lorenzen, who I know I haven't talked about personally, but Mike Lorenzen was signed by the Rangers a couple of weeks ago. I think from what I've heard, what I've read on X and other websites, that he might be making his first start for the Rangers next week when we play the A's. So we'll see what this Rangers rotation starts looking like. I think at this point, Rangers are kind of going with the 6-man group to get this done until Scherzer, DeGrom, Molly all get back. But Bradford could easily stay in this rotation, maybe be that 6th starter, even when those guys come back, if he can continue to pitch like this. The Rangers are going to have to send some of these guys in the starting rotation to the bullpen eventually. So, I mean, candidates for that, Bradford, Dunning, Heaney, those kinds of guys I think are going to be on the block. So they're going to have to pitch well if they want to remain as starters. John Gray pitches tomorrow, I believe. So that'll be good. Hopefully he can rebound. I know he had a really rough start on Easter Sunday against the Cubs. Wasn't the reason that the Rangers lost that game. In the end, the bullpen failed them. Leclerc had a really terrible ninth inning. I think Gray had a rough start, but I give him credit. He kept the Rangers in the game. Hopefully he has his A game tomorrow. It's going to be hard to follow up Cody Bradford's performance tonight, but hopefully John Gray can have a strong start tomorrow. Keep this thing going for the Rangers. Let's talk about the bullpen, though. Rodriguez, I did some digging into the stats, and what you've got, if you take away Leclerc and Rodriguez, you take them out of the entire equation. Granted, Leclerc is a big part of what the Rangers do in the bullpen. He is the closer, the de facto closer for right now. If you take out their stats, the Rangers bullpen has given up 0 runs. So I know that right now you're seeing some stats about the Rangers bullpen, how many runs they've given up. I think that it's 12. I think Leclerc has given up 6, and I believe that Rodriguez has given up 6. Everybody else, 0. So this bullpen is actually, I think, doing quite well. You've just got 2 guys that are having a really rough beginning of the season. Every time Rodriguez has come in, I haven't seen him do well. I've seen him give up hits, base runners, home runs. I think this is back-to-back outings now that Rodriguez has given up a home run. If I'm not mistaken, he did it in the series against the Rays, and he did it tonight as well. So back-to-back games for him giving up a home run. Clearly, he was pitching with a 10-run lead for a reason. So I think that Bochy and Maddox are beginning to find a place for him, and that is when the game is not on the line. So we'll see if Leclerc can come around, but I think at this point, Rodriguez, take him out of it, and the Rangers bullpen is really doing quite well. Didn't have to work too hard tonight to get that final few outs after Bradford went 7 2/3, which is incredible because this is a 4-game series. I didn't realize that, but Rangers play Saturday, Sunday, and Monday against the Astros. So this is a 4-game series. So to only have to use 3 guys tonight total, I'm including Bradford, right? 2 bullpen arms and 2 guys, Rodriguez and Latz, that aren't guys that are going to be high leverage. So the Rangers essentially used 0 high leverage guys tonight, which I think is phenomenal for them when you think about their prospects moving forward. So that's the bullpen review. Let me see if I have anything else for you, and then we'll do a little AL West roundup. We'll look at some scores from the AL West, but just a little spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure that the Rangers are clean sweeping everybody tonight unless the Angels can make a pretty nice comeback. Astros lost, A's lost, and looking at some of the other scores, it wasn't looking good for the Mariners. Last I checked, it was bottom 9th. Brewers had the bases loaded with no outs. Looks like, just scrolling through here, yep, looks like they won. So Mariners lost tonight, A's lost. Looks like the Angels are down 4-0. Of course, the Astros lost. So this could be a day where the Rangers pick up a full game on everybody in the division, which is always a great thing. So Angels, quietly are, I think, a half game out. Right today, as of today, they were tied with the Rangers for first place. So the Angels quietly having a pretty good start to the year. I surely was not thinking or expecting them to be up at the top, but I haven't been paying attention that much to the Angels at this point. Now I kind of have my eye on them. I don't know if they're going to be able to sustain what they're doing right now, but Rangers are 5-2. Angels will most likely drop to 4-3, barring a major comeback here. It's the top of the 5th right now, 4-0 Red Sox over the Angels. So we'll see, but it looks like the Rangers will be up a game in the division. Next closest is Seattle, 2.5. Astros are 3.5 out. Athletics are 4.5 out. I know it seems not a big deal right now, but as much space as you can create early, I do think it gets in people's heads. You get a team that comes out within a very commanding lead in the division. You're talking close to 10 games. It says something, it makes a statement, and personally, yes, it's a 162 game season, but I would love to see the Rangers run away with this thing early. And a sweep of the Astros would go a long way in doing that. I'm not expecting it. I'm not counting on it. I think the Rangers can take 3 out of 4. But if they were to sweep the Astros, that would be quite the statement early on. Let me see here. If there's anything else we want to go over before we start wrapping things up. Oh, I think that's about it, guys. So for tomorrow, again, John Gray against France for the Astros. So that game, I believe, is let me see if we got another night game. Nice. So we'll see what the Rangers can do against France. I'm just going to pull up France's stats right now, see if there's any splits with him and the Rangers and how he's fared against us in the past. I believe that we've got Dane Dunning going on Sunday. So we've got, I think, a pretty good shot here with our pitchers moving forward. So in 2023, France, like a total of 11 hits given up, 244 average Rangers have against him, which I think I know doesn't sound very good. We think about like 300 averages as being good, right? But honestly, 244 average against the pitcher, against the starting pitcher, pretty solid for a team as a whole. Adolis 2 for 6 against him last year alone. We have Jonah Heim 2 for 5 against him. Corey Seager 2 for 3 with 2 home runs against France. There's a matchup to watch. So Seager sees France well. We're talking about France, the starter for the Astros, JP France tomorrow, Saturday's game. And then there was one other guy who I thought had hit him pretty well. Mitch Garver. Man, I wonder what Mitch Garver, how he's doing this year. I have not looked at Mitch Garver's stats at all and what he's been up to, but I miss Mitch, man. I mean, he had just a great run for the Rangers last year. I miss that guy. I hope he's doing all right with the Mariners. Obviously not when we play them, please. But let's see how Mitch is doing so far. I'm going to check out this Mariners box score real quick. We'll bounce around a little bit here as we close out another edition of Right On Rangers Live. Garver not doing too well this year. So he was 1 for 2 tonight, but hitting 188 on the year. Feel bad for him. Not only are you not on the Rangers anymore, but the start of the season for him is going a little bit rough. So we'll definitely have to keep our eye on Mitch. We wish him the best. I just don't think it was in the cards for him to come back. Even if he wanted to take less money, I don't think it was in the cards for Mitch to come back, just with who the Rangers had coming up, Langford especially. I think the Rangers just knew there's no reason to spend money on Mitch, as awesome as he was for us last year. But we wish him the best. Hopefully he can get over the Mendoza line. Mitch Garver hitting 188 for the Mariners this year. But back to our Rangers. It doesn't look like there's anything else real notable with JP France. But we've got Doley and we've got Siegs hitting JP France quite well. Siegs with 2 home runs against him. Hopefully that carries over into tomorrow. I'll have a video out probably tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon. Of course, our system betting 1 cent on Rangers money line for every Facebook follower that we have improves to 5-2 on the year. I believe we're bouncing up over into the $50 threshold of profit. So it's off to a good start. And we got over 2,000 Facebook followers. So that was pretty cool. You know what? Any gains are good gains. That's what I always say. A win's a win. And we added, I think, about 7 or 8 new Facebook followers. So appreciative of that. So we got our bets up over $20 now. Hopefully, especially if the Rangers stay hot, we can keep that number going up a little bit, little by little, and take advantage of the Rangers' hot start. That's the plan. That's the plan, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Probably we'll try and go live again after tomorrow night's game. Hopefully, it's more positive vibes. It doesn't get much better than a Friday night where the Rangers win against the Astros, everybody in the division loses, and then you've got the Mavs coming out with a nice win at home over the Warriors tonight to create a little separation in that Western Conference postseason race. So hard to complain. It was a hit parade tonight, just a fun baseball game to watch. I hope there's more of that to come Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Well, guys, hope y'all have a good rest of the Friday night. Enjoy it. We'll see y'all tomorrow, perhaps. And as always, y'all, God bless